The world moves in confident strides, broadcasting its every thought without a second glance. But for some of us, there is a constant, low-humming dread, the silent accusation that we are slightly too much or tragically not enough. And here is the quiet, painful truth you've always suspected. The feeling of cringe is not a judgment from the outside world. It is a ghost from the past, living inside you that cannot tolerate your present joy. It's the flash of heat across your neck. It's the memory, sometimes years old, that slams into your mind at 3 a.m. A misplaced word, an awkward gesture, a moment of unbridled, honest enthusiasm. And you recoil. You wince. You whisper the word, cringe. But let's look closer at this strange, modern discomfort. Why do some people move through life with a natural, Teflon-like impermeability, while others walk in a perpetual state of soft exposure, a psychological sunburn waiting for the smallest ray of light? It is because you have a unique, highly calibrated internal radar. A radar designed not to protect you from true danger, but to police your own authenticity. You possess an exquisite sensitivity, a gift for nuance that has become twisted into a weapon of self-sabotage. The constant reflexive self-judgment is not a sign of social clumsiness. It is, in fact, the mark of an overly developed consciousness. An inner critic so diligent, so merciless, it destroys the moment before the world ever gets the chance. It's the inner librarian rushing to reshelve the book of your life the second it is opened. And what if the very thing you call cringe in your own behavior is merely the raw, unedited glimpse of the human self you were never truly permitted to be? What if the feeling of recoil is simply the protective reflex against the unconditional vulnerability you secretly crave? You watch someone else be loud, be silly, be passionately wrong, and you admire their freedom, but you cannot replicate it. The permission is always conditional. The moment the authentic self attempts to rise to the surface, the inner alarm is pulled. You find yourself doing the emotional work for everyone else in the room. You become an anticipatory editor of your own existence. Every thought is screened. Every joke is vetted. Every spontaneous movement is mentally archived for future self-flagellation. Your mental energy is not spent engaging, but managing the optics of your engagement. This is exhausting. It makes conversation a quiet battlefield. When you speak, you're listening to two voices at once, your own and the relentless, immediate playback of the critic. Did that sound try hard? Did my voice crack? Are they politely enduring this, or are they genuinely interested? This isn't vanity. It's a profound emotional labor. You are navigating the world with a ghost ship's delicate rigging, where every tiny breeze of judgment threatens to tear the sails. And the silence you cultivate, the refusal to engage fully, becomes its own kind of loud, desperate signal. And what you feel when a memory surfaces, that sudden, visceral recoil, is not shame for what you did. It is the deep, aching grief for the innocence that was lost. The part of you that once expressed itself purely, only to be met with a response that taught you one crucial, painful lesson. It is safer to be silent than to be truly seen. You are mourning the loss of your own effortless joy. But if you are so aware of the potential for awkwardness, if your social sensors are so finely tuned, why do you still feel like you're getting it wrong? It's because the system isn't designed for success. It's designed for survival. This hyper-awareness, this inner cringe mechanism, is not born in adulthood. It is forged in the invisible furnaces of early attachment. It begins in the shadow of the conditional gaze. This is a subtle but devastating dynamic. Imagine a child, naturally expressive, naturally messy, naturally exuberant. If that child is primarily seen through a lens of judgment, or even just through distracted or overwhelmed eyes, the message is clear. Your natural self is a problem. The connection to the caregiver is conditional upon the child performing a specific, quiet, and pleasing version of themselves. If a child's true feelings, their big cry, their silly dance, their intense passion, are consistently met with an eye roll, a rushed dismissal, a subtle withdrawal of affection, or worse, a parent's own embarrassment. The child does not think, my parent is having a bad day. The child thinks, my authentic expression is a threat to my safety and my love supply. This creates the internalized observer, a relentless, hyper-vigilant surveillance system whose sole purpose is to prevent you from repeating the emotional mistake of being yourself. This observer carries the tone and the judgment of the earliest critical voices you encountered. It lives in your emotional periphery, waiting for any sign of unnecessary exposure. The cringe is simply the modern, adult manifestation of that internalized observer screaming, "Abort! Abort! You're attracting attention. You're diverging from the approved script." This isn't about being cool. It's about avoiding the primal pain of re-experiencing rejection. The things you judge as cringe in others, loudness, oversharing, simple enthusiasm, are often the very qualities your internalized observer forbids you to express. The discomfort is not disgust. It is envy in disguise. The agonizing realization that they possess a freedom you were forced to surrender to secure love. So the next time that heat washes over you from a past memory, ask yourself, is this the world judging me? Or is this the sound of an old, internalized parent figure trying to silence the child who still wants to play? And what if, just for a moment, you let the child win? Imagine a small, quiet village, nestled by a restless, ancient forest. In this village lived a stonemason who was different. While others built their homes from sturdy, thick stone, this stonemason, obsessed with perfection and fear of error, built a house made entirely of perfectly clear, seamless glass. It was beautiful, but terrifying. Every movement he made, every speck of dust, every moment of rest or unguarded laughter was exposed to the village path. He had built a life with zero privacy for his soul. He did this because he believed that if he could see every part of his own life, every small movement, every internal clutter, and if everyone else could see it too, he would never make a mistake. He would be perpetually corrected by the simple, cold gaze of the outside world. He lived his life in miniature. His laughter was a silent tremor. His passion was a muted shadow. He could not run across the floor for fear of breaking the illusion of order. He became a prisoner of his own transparency. But one cold, misty morning, a strong, honest wind came down from the forest, and the glass house did not break. Instead, the air grew thick and humid, and the entire structure was suddenly covered in a thick layer of dew. The windows, for the first time, became opaque. The stonemason was shielded by a soft, natural blur, and in that sudden, soft privacy, he dared to stretch, dared to sing a silly, off-key song, dared to let a cup fall to the floor. He danced a clumsy, uncoordinated jig. He realized that the greatest damage to his life wasn't the fear of being seen by others, but the chilling, preemptive self-destruction of living in a state of perpetual, unforgiving sight. He tasted the immense relief of being present, not performing. The cringe is your glass house. The true freedom is the mist that gives you permission to be temporarily unseen, even by your own relentless inner eye. The deepest human longing is not for perfection, it is for connection. And connection is impossible without vulnerability. The polished, perfect self is a wall, not a bridge. The parts of you that feel cringe are not flaws in your character. They are the scars of your humanity. They are the signs that you have genuinely tried to engage with the world, that you have dared to extend yourself beyond the silent, safe perimeter of your mind. They are the artifacts of your living, breathing participation. The cringe memory is a spotlight on the precise moment you allowed your heart to be a little too loud, your enthusiasm a little too bright, your need a little too raw. It is the proof you once had the courage to be uncool. The most emotionally mature act is not to eliminate vulnerability, but to reclassify it as strength. A perfectly smooth stone is beautiful, yes, but it tells you nothing of the powerful, relentless river it traveled. A stone with fissures and moss and sharp angles, that stone has a story. It has survived the current. It has earned its texture. To truly heal this tendency, you must perform a simple, profound alchemy. Stop viewing the memory as a record of your failure. Start viewing it as a document of your early bravery and a testament to your authenticity. The shame is the memory's coating. Peel it back. Underneath the shame, you will find a simple, defenseless truth. You are trying to connect. This realization breaks the contract you made with your critic. The goal is not to eliminate the feeling of cringe. The feeling is a signal. It's the old security system, still chirping, warning you of a danger that no longer exists. The goal is to acknowledge the chirp, thank the old system for its service, and then walk through the door anyway, carrying the memory with gentle, compassionate acceptance. The silence that follows the cringe is not the silence of self-punishment. It is the deep, warm silence of being finally, perfectly, and honestly alone with yourself. The constant fear of cringe is not a personal defect. It is simply the echo of an old, internalized whisper that forgot how beautiful the sound of your own voice could be.